Hello friends, welcome back to Aaron's Anxiety. I am your host Aaron, your personal guide through anxiety. Before we get started, if you've seen my content and you like what you see and you want to be more a part of what's going on, please hit the subscribe button. We'd love to have you. We're working our way towards the big goal of 1,400, which is a cool number. We'll even beat it as 1,500. So yeah, we'd love to have you either way. But if you want to just watch as you will do on your own. Second, like the video. That one I would actually prefer you to do because it does help find more people that are struggling through anxiety, and the more likes we get, the more we can get into that YouTube algorithm and find more lost people that are just looking for answers. So if you wouldn't mind, please hitting the like button. It would really greatly help. Okay, so getting on to the review. This is my 1 month review of lack of Lexapro, the withdrawals, how I'm feeling, what's going on. And so just for anybody, because I always assume that people know my story, and I shouldn't, because there are several people that ask and keep updated with me as I keep updated with them. But if you're just brand new here and you're just trying to figure out, should I get off, should I even get on, blah blah blah, I want to help across the board. So for those of you that don't know, I was in a very bad place with anxiety. I did about 8 months on my own, no pills, no nothing. I just decided I was going to clean up my act through diet, exercise, through personal growth, listen to a lot of motivational tapes and things like Jim Rohn and Tony Robbins and Les Brown, those guys. And I still listen to those guys, especially if I'm having a hard day. Those are great techniques, and they got me through 8 months of, I was literally in my bed for a while, just didn't want to move. And then I had what I call the F it moment, where I was like, I don't care if it kills me, I'm getting rid of this anxiety one way or the other, it's gotta go. So I did that. I got to a really good place. I had my first baby coming, and I thought, the more responsible thing to do is I feel like I'm about 80% there. Let me kill this last 20% and go ahead and hop on an SSRI. That way I can get, once I have my baby, it's going to be stressful, diaper changes and blah, blah, blah. So I started it, and blah, blah. I had some side effects in the beginning, a couple here and there, a little more anxiety, things like that. And those kind of dissipated. It takes it a few weeks. If you're just getting ready to start, it takes it a few weeks. And did that for a couple years. Making a long story short here, did that for a couple years. And now, within the last month, I decided, hey, I think I'm ready to get off of Lexapro, give it a shot on my own, see what my brain has done in that time of that year and a half to 2 years, somewhere in there. Being on it, did my brain heal? Do I feel better? Is life better on the whole without it? So here's the journey. I got off of it. I was on 5 milligrams. I was taking it every day at 10, unless I'd forget, and then I take the next day at 10. And the first week wasn't too bad. A couple symptoms, I'd have like headaches and a little bit of dizziness was kind of the one that kind of went through. And it's not all the time, it was just every now and then, just like, ooh, and then go back to my day. Week 2, a little different story. Week 2 was still getting the random headaches. I felt really dried out. I felt really almost like I had a hangover, because I felt just a tiny bit nauseous and a little bit dried out, and I felt like I needed to drink a bunch of water. And then I had, of course, the headaches. And then that's when the upped anxiety started, and that was pain. So luckily for me, that only lasted about a week, okay? And it wasn't a solid week of solid anxiety. It was just random, just kind of like how I was before, just random. Oh, for no reason, I now have anxiety, and I'm feeling my heart race, and I'm feeling these closed down feelings. I feel like I'm in a box. If you have anxiety, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And so that lasted right at about week 2, going into week 3. That has kind of dissipated and didn't really come back, which was great. Okay, but I still had a little bit of the nausea, still had some dizziness randomly, and that's when I noticed on week 3 that my mood was elevated. And whatever that mood was, it was an enhanced version of whatever that mood was. So if I was really happy, I was more happy. I could feel more happiness. If I was sad, I'd feel sad. I'd feel heartbroken. I'd feel tears welling up in my eyes. If I felt mad, I was mad. I'm going to ripped the doors off to the house, man. Like whatever it was exacerbated. And so I tell people were kind of freaking out about that. They're like, oh no, that means SSRIs are gonna dull my senses and blah 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 blah. Yes, that's what's supposed to do. You're freaking out. You're going crazy. So, but the analogy I gave in a previous video, which is spot on, I liked it. Good job, Aaron. Thanks, Aaron. So, was the fact that it's like when you have a cavity in your tooth and there's a nerve down in there, and it's super duper sore, and then you go to the doctor or the dentist and you put a filling in, you can still feel the tooth, right? It's still there, but it's not as bad. Okay, we're just putting a little cap on it. You can still feel emotions. I mean, in the course of the time that I was on Lexapro, bad things happen to everyone. Okay, I lost my grandmother. I don't want to dwell too much on bad things that happened, but there was several. The things that you were truly sad or truly angry about, and I felt those emotions. I absolutely cried when my grandmother died. She was a big part of my life, and I loved her so very much. I was such good friends with her, and I was really sad that she died. But I will say that if right now she died now, I would probably be a little bit more inconsolable. Okay. So, but I just, I'm always trying to be glass half full. I was thankful for the time that I had with her, and yada yada. So that's just one example. Okay. So my emotions were heightened. Everything felt more raw, more real, more. The gossip was juicier, basically. If that makes sense. So after about the third week of that has kind of, within the last week, that has kind of came down a little bit. So I'm still feeling more than I did before, because I'm still more apt to cry at a sad movie, or more apt to be silly at times when I'm happy. You know what I mean? Like overly silly. Like, silly. So that's great. That means it's coming down. It's coming down to a normal level. Okay, and I'm hoping it keeps going. Okay, because I can't get through a conversation sometimes about talking about my wife or my son and not be like, don't look at me. Look up, away, get the tears back in the ducts, go back at them. So these are all pluses, and things are just kind of continuously getting better. Here's the bad side, okay? We're not going to sugarcoat a darn thing, okay? Because if I'm not honest with you, no one learns. No one learns anything. So here's the bad side. And honestly, it's not that horrible. So the things that have came back with this anxiety that I had before Lexapro, that kind of went away, but now are coming back. And I don't know if it's, what I don't know is they say it can take 2 to 3 months for it to completely be out of your system and you're back to par. So I'm still in this weird buffer zone where I'm kind of away from the bad stuff, and I'm kind of hoping for the best, but I don't know. Another symptom could pop up, and the things that I'm feeling could be another symptom. Example. What I used to have before, which I'm starting to have a little bit again now, is I'll be talking to someone, everything will be honky-dory, I'm talking about whatever, and it's just me and this person. And then my brain will go, hey, Aaron, what if you had a panic attack right now? And then you feel that little pit in your stomach goes, oh, what if I did? They would think I was crazy. They would think I was nuts. They think something's wrong with me. You know what I mean? And then, and then while they're talking, because, I'm not responsible. I'm not listening what they should be saying, what I should be listening to. Even if that happened, I would be fine. They would go, oh, dude, you okay? All right? You good? All right, cool. Yeah, no, I freaked out for a second. I don't know what happened. Panic attacks, bro. So that's about all that would have happened. But that has come back. And I don't know if it's here to stay, because I had heightened anxiety before too, but that went away. So I don't know if it's here to stay or if it's just a temporary thing. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to keep you guys up front and honest as we go. The only other side effects that are really in the negative for me is I do feel my general anxiety has been heightened, and not to a bad level yet. I don't know. Maybe it could get worse. I don't know. But say because we all run at some point of anxiety. It's what gets you up through the day. It's what keeps, keeps cap on things that you don't want to happen to go wrong. Because, anxiety is constantly worrying and trying to predict the future. Okay? So depression is living in the past. Anxiety is living in the future. And happiness is now. That's why they call it the present. Yada, yada. Whimsical phrase. So, as of now, when I say, Okay, let me clarify this real quick. When I say that that my overall anxiety is heightened, I don't mean like freaking out. I mean like, say if normal people run at say a 2 or a 3, I'm like at a 4. Like go one notch up, and I'm just a little higher, just a little bit more aware of what's going on around me, and trying to be more cognitive about things that could happen. So what I don't want is this to be like a snowball. I don't want this to kind of just be bigger, and it's out of control, and then avalanche, here comes Aaron's anxiety, and then I'm back on here ranting to you guys. I don't know what happened, I should have got off. So, but as of now, things are looking pretty good. I do enjoy feeling a little bit more me, and but I do feel like this Lexapro is like a blankie, you know what I mean? And I don't mean a blanket, okay? I don't mean a blanket, I mean a blankie, okay? And so if you ever had a blankie when you were little, you'll know what I'm talking about, okay? A blankie is different than a blanket. A blankie has a personality, okay? It knows you. It knows when you're sad, it knows when you're afraid, it knows when things are too much, and then you would hold that blankie and suck your thumb or hold it, and whatever it was when you were little, that blankie was a comfort, okay? Everything is going wrong, but I know this blankie's here. And that's what Lexapro feels like. It's like, okay, right now, over here, I have a bottle of Lexapro. I can get back on that at any time. I have a full bottle. I refilled my prescription right before I got off. And I get 3 months supply. There's 3 months of Lexapro right there of if I wanted to get back on, and that feels good to know that. I will expect that there's gonna be some side effects getting back on, just like there are getting off. Anytime you switch your dosage, whether you're switching medications or just switching the dosage itself from like 5 to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, however high you go or low you go, whether it's up or down, you're going to have some side effects up and down. Doesn't matter, because your brain's constantly, the side effects is your brain getting used to the new amounts. So you're going to have something. But yeah, so just knowing that it's there is very comforting. And if I ever have to go back, I'm not scared to go back, okay? I'm not like, oh, I'm so different now, and that was a horrible, I was a zombie. It's none of that. But once you get your dosage correct, and you get the right SSRI, life's good. All it does is just round that edge off to make life a little bit more palatable. You're not just freaking out about the lion in the bush all the time when you're middle of downtown, and you're not even at the zoo. So, long story short, now that we're almost 13 minutes in. I'm trying to make them not more than 10, but there's a lot of information that goes on this one, so bear with me. Long story short, so far so good. This is good. This is a good thing, okay? And I'm enjoying it, and I'm enjoying the experiences, and I'm enjoying the ride, and I'm enjoying... See, what? Like I said in other videos, okay? When you're first experience anxiety, the question of what's going on is the scariest part. But now that I know what anxiety does, and I know where it's coming from, why it's coming that way, it's taking the lid off the box and seeing that there's nothing in here. You know, it's just a blank feeling that's random. It's nothing to be scared of. Oh yeah, okay, I'm having this feeling now. It's gonna go away in a little bit, then I'll be back to fine. So I'll just hold off. I'm not gonna freak out. I'll hold off for 5 minutes and let this thing subside, and it does every time. Make it part of your norm, and then you will become normal. If that makes sense. Not saying you're not normal, because you are a precious little snowflake. But the more you make that a normal, the more you will become normal, and back to the old loving you self that you remember. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, please hit the like button. Like I said, I honestly, the whole gig here is I'm just trying to help as many people as possible. I was in a very scared place, and I didn't know what to do, where to turn to. There was a lot of bad information. There's so much bad information out there. And if you have been any kind of this anxiety journey, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It's a hodgepodge out there of people trying to scare other people, trolls, things like that. And I am here trying to give the best information I can to make people, one, feel comfortable, because it is a comfortable thought knowing that it's going to be okay, because it is going to be okay. You will be fine. You know, you don't have a cold forever. You got to do something about it. You know, drink some soup, make sure you're hydrated. But for the most part, it's not forever. It's not a life sentence. It's going to be fine. Okay? So, if you like that and you want to help me out, please hit the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Feel free to join us here and the Aaron's Anxiety family. Don't hit the bell icon. For the love of God, don't hit that bell icon. There's nothing worse Nothing worse than when you're out on your day. Bing! Aaron has anxiety video. Don't do that. You don't need that. We don't need that. Just if you stumble across me, say hi. Let me know how you're doing down in the comments, and let me know your journey. I do keep up with you guys, and I try to answer as many as I can. And other than that, friends, I'm out of here. And I will see you guys probably in the next couple days. Until that time, I love you. I'm Aaron. You're awesome. And I'll see you in the next video.